We're going to talk about our fantasy self today. And my question is, do you hold on to items thinking, I'm going to do this special project? We have all these wonderful ideas, but when it comes down to it, we just have to get real with ourselves and figure out, do we really have time to do that? Or is this just a fantasy? So I have a closet I need to clean out, and I'm going to invite you to come along with me. And I know I'm going to find some fantasy self items in there. So see if you can help me out on this. Come on in, let's go. If this is your first time to my channel, hi, my name is Angie, and my husband Bill and I live in Louisiana, where we are nearing retirement, working to simplify our possessions. We're not there yet, but we are on the road to simple. I like to share my journey along the way and hope that you will share what's happening with you as well. I'm going to tackle this closet today, and this is a little tricky lighting here. We're remodeling, and so I don't have a hall light any longer, so I'm holding a portable light here to show you this closet. So let's see what I can show you here. This is where I keep a lot of my craft supplies, candles, wrapping paper, other things like that. But this closet is going to be going away when we do some remodeling, so I need to find other places to put this. So I'm going to tackle this today. I'll explain about all these empty bottles as we go. I have moved everything out, put it on my dining room table, my dining room chairs. This is kind of crazy when you think that all of this stuff was in that closet. Yarns, I used to knit and crochet a lot. I've got ribbon. This is my crochet basket. I've got lots of candles. I'm going to tell you about this later. That's something I'm definitely going to keep. More yarn, more craft things, corks, sewing supplies. So some of these things I know that I will use, but some of them have been in there for years and I have not used them. So what's the reasoning that makes me think that I'm going to use them in the next year or two? This may be a spoiler for some of my family and friends that my husband and I are planning to make some gifts out of these bottles. By the way, this is years and years and years of collecting. We don't drink this much alcohol all the time. This is a lot of years of collecting bottles. It's not important for you to see all my stuff. I don't need to bore you with all that, but what I do want to do is just take a minute to kind of give you some advice on making decisions on what to let go. I have tons and tons of, you can see here, of yarn. I used to do a lot of crocheting, and I actually used to have a little side business where I sold scarves and things like that. And I used to live in the North, or the Midwest, where it was cold. Now I live in the South. I don't need scarves. I know I have used some of these same yarns to make things for my family already, so I know I can let those go. Some of you have probably heard the term your fantasy self. My fantasy self was someone who had time to make all these crafts and make beautiful things. Am I really going to do it, or am I going to let things sit in my closet for years and years and years? So you kind of have to get real with who you are. You can't always be that person that has time to do everything. I do have 2 skeins of this particular yarn, so I know that would make a nice scarf for someone. I may do something like that for someone at Christmas, so I am going to keep those. These other things, they're nice yarns, but I'm going to have to be real with myself. I've had these for probably, well, this one I just bought a couple of years ago, but some of these others I've had in this box for 7 years or more. I knew a lady that had a yarn shop. She sold a bunch of stuff. I bought a lot of her stuff. Some of it I used to make scarves to sell in my shop years ago, but I guess what I want to tell you is just because you paid money for something or it's in good shape doesn't mean you have to keep it. Be real with yourself on what you think you will do with it, if you're really going to use it or not. Give it to somebody else. Shells. I thought I would be making some crafts out of shells. I love shells. They're beautiful. I love to collect them. But these have been in a box here, so I'm going to decide whether or not I'm really going to make something of these or let them go. I ran across one of these fantasy self items. This is a scarf that I started, I don't know how many years ago. I bought beautiful hand-spun yarn, hand-dyed yarn, and I worked on it a little at a time, and then I put it away, and then maybe I'd get it out another year and work on it a little bit more. And now it's been in a box for years. I can't remember how to even finish this pattern to keep going. So this is a project that almost makes me feel guilty when I look at it. So why would I want to keep something that makes me feel guilty, that it's nagging at me? Finish me. Why did you start me and you didn't finish me? I'm going to figure out how to just cast off this and finish this scarf off, even if it's a little shorter than it needs to be, because there's no reason for me to keep something that makes me feel guilty or gives me angst about I need to finish that. When you're looking through some of your project related things, if it's something that you started but you never finished and it really bothers you that you didn't finish it, rather than letting that still be there to bother you, why not let that burden go? It's okay that you didn't finish it. It's okay, and let it go. Is this thread that can be used? Well, yes, it's still good thread, but it's taking up room in my cabinet for nothing. It's set here. I have not used this for years. What would this cost for me to replace a spool of thread? Not very much. And I know I'm not sewing like I used to years ago, so why am I holding on to all of this? If it's relatively inexpensive for me to just go pick up a spool of thread when I need one, that makes much more sense than just keeping a whole box full of thread. So that's another way to make decisions on what to keep and what to let go. Okay, here's everything that I was able to put in my donate pile. Someone who loves to knit or crochet is going to be very happy. Got lots of yarn. Also, I have a lot of thread, kitchen towel, some gift bags, and craft papers, some various things. My trash pile is pretty small. That's good. A few things to recycle. I did put together a basket of some various yarn, different craft things to keep for my granddaughter so she can have just some crafty things to do when we get together to play. So these are the items that I am keeping that need to go back somewhere. Got to find a place for some of these things. I can keep them in that closet for a little bit longer, but I'm going to show you my sewing kit in a minute. This is the crochet hooks and yarns that I use. I told you the story on this. I'm going to get some help to finish that off. Have a few more pieces of material and craft things I'm going to keep. Just one bin though. And then in this box I have a few skeins of yarn. This is my gift wrapping caddy. I cleared out a few things from that and put in the donate pile. Have a couple of frames that I need to get some photos to go in. And this basket down here has gift items that I'm holding for celebrations. A couple more gift bags. I think my husband might can use some of the oyster shells in the garden. So I got rid of some, so we'll see what happens with that. But it's a pretty small pile of things to go back in. I've already relocated some ribbon to my craft room. Now for the bottles. I'm going to keep what will fit in this bin and no more. Anything that won't fit in here is going to recycle. If I get these done, I will certainly share them with you. I found a place for some of my candles. This was a brand new candle. Can you hear it? It's one of the wood wicks that crackles when you burn it. It's been hiding in the shelf, didn't even really know it was there, so now I have it out to enjoy a lavender scent in my home. And I found places in the kitchen cabinet for the other ones that I needed to keep, and tossed a few as well. So I mentioned before I wanted to talk to you about this. This is a old wicker purse that my grandma had, and it was something that I inherited after she passed away. But instead of using it as a purse, I use it for my sewing basket. So I went through and cleaned all of this out, put together my buttons, safety pins, different things. But this is a great example of when you come across a sentimental item and you're not sure what to do with it. It's hard to let it go, but you don't think you need it. Maybe you can repurpose it into something else, like I have done with this purse. Now it's my sewing kit, and I can think of her every time I pull it out. This is all I will have to relocate when we get ready to tear out the closet. The rest is all empty. Yay! Whew. I'm ready to take a break. I'm telling you, this couch is going to feel good for a little bit. There's been some difficult decisions to be made here today to do this, and it's something that I've put off for a while, and that's another reason that I wanted to do it, to get that worry out of my mind. That's another way to simplify the clutter in your mind of things that are hanging over your head to do. Go ahead and do them, make the decision, and set yourself free from that worry. I hope that this has given you some insight into asking yourself questions about your fantasy self. If you're really going to get around to doing some of these things that you've been holding on to for a long time. And even if they're not fantasy self items, they're still things that you've just been holding on to just in case. I also want to reiterate, how much will it really cost you to replace something if you need it? So rather than keeping things, inexpensive things especially, just in case you think you might need them, go ahead and let them go. If you haven't used them in years, it's probably going to be more years before you use them. So why let those take up valuable space in your home? If you need to replace something for a few bucks down the road, that is a better decision than letting it sit there and you having to manage it for years. If you found this information to be helpful, I would appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. That really helps my videos to be shown to other people that might benefit from the same information. I'd love for you to subscribe so that we can continue on the road to simple together. I'm going to suggest a couple of videos here at the end that will help you to continue on your simplifying journey. So I hope you will watch those. And in the meantime, remember to keep it simple. We know those simple pleasures really are the best. So take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.